Hey there, everyone. Joshua Short with you. We are in the newsroom right now where we are working on several developments, several breaking news stories regarding this first alert weather day. So we are coming to you just to give you a little bit of an update because we know this is around the time you guys are about to get the kids from school. You guys are either about to get lunch or just returning from lunch. And it seems like a lot has happened in the last few hours on the roads out there. So we want to give you guys a quick update and show you some visuals that we're just getting into the newsroom as well about some of these accidents, some of these slide offs, some of these things that we're hearing about, whether it's here, whether it's in Elkhart County, whether it's in St. Joe County or in South Bend. We're hearing some stuff that's going on right now. So I want to update you guys on that really quickly. You are watching us on Facebook Live, and so I want to make sure we get some people in for a second. We are in the newsroom, which is working right now. It may not seem like it or sound like it, but I can tell you that it's been extremely busy the last several hours because of the snow, the visibility issues, the slick conditions, because of just how cold it is. You see the bug right there. It's 17 degrees out there. It feels colder, and we're not even at the coldest point of the next 10 days. Which we've been telling you about and first alerting you to as well. Okay, so I think we got a few people on. I'm going to hop on Facebook to see some of the questions as well. I'm going to try and do that all while I'm pressing buttons and talking to you at the same time. It's a lot that we have to try to do here to bring you this story. So if you're just watching, just joining us, or if you're just even getting on Facebook for the first time, you haven't been outside, there have been a lot of accidents today. In fact, you see it there. Police have been telling us to tell you to stay off the bypass in St. Joe County and in Elkhart County as well. Elkhart County we'll get to in a second, but I want to start in St. Joe County, where earlier today, about 2.5 hours ago, if that, maybe 2 hours ago, we've got word in the newsroom of there being several slide-offs. In fact, we heard the word pile up on the scanners. We have scanners here in the back of the newsroom, and we can hear contemporaneously what's going on, what's happening, obviously. We know there are a lot of scanner listeners out there listening to the stories as well as they unfold. And so when we heard that, we then got confirmation from dispatchers that there were several accidents on the bypass. They told us 2 initially, and then it seemed like within minutes we got word that there were 3 different accidents, crashes. One of them involved 15 vehicles, and this is all happening in between State Road 2 and Mayflower. If you're familiar with that side of town, that area, I want to say the west side of town is very generic, just to give you guys some perspective on the bypass, not far from the casino, right? That is where this is all unfolding, on the bypass. And so that area is still blocked off because of all the vehicles. And I'm about to show you pictures of that as well that we're getting in from the St. Joseph County Police Department. But before I do that, I want to read you something here that we got a short time ago from St. Joe County, from the Sheriff Redmond, saying, quote, "I am out here and visibility is horrible. Stay off the bypass, exclamation mark." This statement goes on to say that all hands are on deck, the situation, as our team continues to respond. Continues, and this is just into the newsroom less than 30 minutes ago, continues to respond to the bypass. Visibility remains bad. Roads are slick. Only minor injuries are being reported at this time. And that's the good news because of what I'm about to say next. One of our officers had to drive off the road to avoid being hit by a semi. Thankfully, they are okay. And with that, I want to show you these images that we are getting. And you will see that car on the left side of your screen, that SUV, that is a county-issued police car right there involved in this situation, this slide-off, this pile-up. And it's hard to say pile-up, but you can see it for yourself. I'll show you so you can see it in full here. But this is the situation as it is unfolding in the last few minutes. These are the pictures that we're getting from police. We had a team out there trying to get you a video from on the ground. Obviously, safety, a big issue out there. Visibility, obvious reasons. You see the crash here, an issue out there. And so they are coming back with some of the video, some of the pictures as well. But this is one of the pictures she was able to get. And you can see it. Several semis, a school bus as part of that as well. We don't know what school bus, what specific corporation that is, what school district, but a school bus is involved in that as well. No word on if there are any students on that bus or anything like that. But a sad situation all around, right? And so a lot of people watching right now were probably on the bypass when this happened or experienced the backup, the residual delays, right? The gapers, as they call it, in some areas in the Midwest, right? That's what you're seeing there on the bypass. FedEx, one of the many vehicles involved in that. And so for those of you watching right now, if you know someone who usually takes the bypass, just give them a call, make sure they're okay, send them a text. The news that we're getting right now is that, for the most part, minor injuries. That is the good news. But when you look at this and you see that car, you see that St. Joseph County vehicle right there in that ditch, that was done intentionally because he didn't want to get hit by a trailer or a semi that he saw in his distance that was on his way to hitting some more vehicles. And again, that is a scary sight if you're on the bypass. We always tell people when it's snowing out there, just stay off the bypass altogether. It's like a bridge, right? And so you get that effect where the winds blow and everything is slick. I mean, almost on impact, depending on how long it's been cold outside. And in this case, we've been below freezing for a string of days. And so even with the sun out, it's been cold. And so as soon as that snow hits the ground, things freeze up. And I know it's common knowledge to most of you, but many of you just decide to take the bypass because you don't have a choice, right? Or you think it's okay to do so. We got in our morning meeting today, and I'm going to be frank with you. We were told, look, this snow is going to let up soon. But that was before, of course, the snow let up. And so the snow that we ended up getting after that morning meeting at 9:30 is one of the reasons why we're seeing the accidents that we're seeing here. Obviously, visibility issues along with the slick conditions playing an impact in that. So again, that is the word from St. Joe County Police right now, is stay off the bypass. In fact, we also talked to officials in Elkhart, and they were talking about issues on the bypass there. In fact, they had a certain part of the bypass closed off for several hours. You can see it there between US 33 and County Road 13. It was closed off for most of the morning. And so for those of you who use the bypass, taking the kids to school, running the errands, right, going to work, coming from work, that was a big issue this morning and early afternoon, obviously. And it is still an issue right now. I want to open up Facebook really quickly. Forgive me. I want to make sure that you guys don't have any questions right now. I'm still looking at St. Joe County, making sure they don't have any major updates. South Bend Police said, quote, "We said it once, we'll say it again, stay off the bypass." That is what South Bend Police said in the last few minutes. I'm looking at some of the emergency websites as well, just to see if there's an end in the snow. I'm looking at the radar behind me. It's on a loop, and you can see that we are still getting snow in parts of our viewing area. We're still getting snow that is coming right now from northwest of where we are. So I want to look at some of the comments here and see what you guys are saying. A lot of folks watching says, my husband is a lineman, and he says stay off the main roads, or even better, stay home if you can. I saw someone else comment, and it looks like something about I-94. It looks like it was just deleted or taken off. I'm going to try and open it back up and see if you guys said anything about that. I want to get to some more news that we're getting as well, and you're going to see it pop up here. We're also hearing about crashes on the toll road. So let me tell you what we know right now. We heard about a crash not far from us, about 25 minutes normally on a normal day, mile marker 61. That is LaPorte County. There were multiple crashes in that area, and they closed off some of the lanes in that area as a result of that accident, of those crashes. Again, that's mile marker 61. The numbers get lower the further west you go, right? And so we're mile marker 77, which is right near us, Notre Dame exit. We're just getting word, and I'm looking at my phone because I just got a text from Sergeant Bonner, Ted Bonner, who is with the Indiana State Police. He says that this latest accident right near Notre Dame exit 77 involves two semis, and that is all we know right now. We don't know about any injuries. If you are driving in that area, you probably saw it, right? If you drive not even on the toll road near this area, if you see a lot more traffic on 933, sometimes that's a way because people bypass the accident or the backup. We have a reporter who's headed right now, who was headed toward LaPorte County. So they were going westbound, and traffic was already backed up because of the residual delays all the way from mile marker 61. One can only imagine, unless there are other accidents on the way to that mile marker. So just some of the news that we're getting here in the last hour and a half or so, this latest news coming in the last few minutes. Parts of I-94, and I'm going to ask my producers to check that because I wonder where that is. Parts of I-94 closed in Michigan as well. Again, major thoroughfare, right? Major freeway, expressway, whatever you want to call it. Expressway, I-94 locked down in Michigan. Part of it closed. One can only imagine because of the visibility. And it looks like parts of that area is seeing snow right now. So that's another issue that a lot of people have incurred earlier right now. I just got home about 15 minutes ago, and they're still driving way too fast in town. My traction control comes on, and they're practically pushing my bumper. People need to calm down, slow down. County Road 6 near Napanee is getting taken care of as well. It sounds like there's some issues over there in Elkhart County still. John Dodd with that information coming in. Again, and if you're just joining us, I'll show you these images once more. This has been an ongoing situation really since around 10:30. The snow stopped. As I was coming in, there was an accident right on the corner of the station near Door Road in 933. And that is where there was an accident involving, it looked like there was a tractor or something that came off of someone's vehicle, went into another vehicle, and their windows were blown out. And so, again, this has been since around 10:30 for the most part, but there were still some slick roads earlier than that. So one can only imagine how things progressed when that snow started to come down and the visibility started to worsen out there. It's just scary stuff. One can only imagine. I say that because when we did the morning show, Tricia and I together for 4.5 years, anytime, every single winter, we'd see this, we'd say, avoid the bypass. We'd wake up with you and say, if you have errands, if you got to go to work, if you got to drop the kids off at school, avoid the bypass. That is something that we always implore, that we always stress, because we know, again, it's a bridge, right? And you got wind coming in all directions, going under and over, and you get that effect in everything that hits the ground in terms of precipitation, whether it's rain, sleet, snow, it is going to freeze on impact. And so things get slick really fast, even if it's salt on the road, right? Things get slick, and then you add the visibility with it. And it was a nightmare today on the bypass with these pictures, obviously telling a story that I couldn't in words. Again, US 6, not County Road 6. John Dodd, you said County Road is US 6. Thank you for correction there. That is one of the areas that is seeing some attention right now. 160 of you watching right now. I'm curious to know. And please feel free to comment. I can jump out and jump back in and see updated comments. If anyone was on the bypass or in that backup, I'm curious to hear from you. I would love to speak with you as well. We would love to hear from you as well, because that helps us tell this important story. And look, and I'm gonna say this as I'm gonna bring this up in full here. This is just one of the many issues that we're talking about on this First Alert Weather Day. The First Alert Weather Day that we issued for today had to do with the cold temperatures. And then the snow came. That added to this complexity of issues today on this First Alert Weather Day. But listen to this. Next week, we've got 2 straight back-to-back First Alert Weather Days, Monday, Tuesday, where we're expecting the coldest temperatures of the year. We're talking single digits. And you may remember last year we had 7 degrees as a high temperature. That was last year on MLK Day. This year, MLK Day, we're looking at something similar, right? And so we are keeping eyes on all of this. Obviously, the First Alert Weather Days that we've been telling you about today, this week, but also next week with the Arctic plunge, the polar vortex coming, right? That is something that a lot of people should prepare for. I'm not saying it's going to look like this, what we just saw moments ago, but it could, right? And so just be prepared for that and expect the absolute worst, which is why we say make those adjustments if you are going to be on the road, on the bypass for whatever reason. I want to check Facebook once more and see if you guys have any questions, see who's watching us right now, and see if anyone who's watching was on the bypass. Trisha says, is 30 and 31 going to Argus good? No, no, it's not. Absolutely nothing is good right now because the snow is still falling. Now, in terms of visibility, things could have changed in the last hour. Visibility absolutely sucked 2 hours ago. Terrible out there, depending on where you were. You couldn't see. We have Skyview cameras right behind my left shoulder. We can see Notre Dame. We can see from our tower camera right on our building. We can see Mishawaka. We can see Michigan City. We can see parts of St. Joseph. One of our cameras was white out. And it wasn't in St. Joe, wasn't in Michigan. It was right here. It was at Notre Dame. We couldn't see the Golden Dome. Things were white out there. And so that's changed just a little bit, it looks like, from just about an hour and a half, 90 minutes ago. But still, in terms of traction and things out there on the roads, just keep in mind that is still going to be an issue no matter where you are. US 31 south of the bypass is in bad shape. We were just talking about that. Our assignment editor and the rest of the team, we were just talking about where. It sounds like 31. So you're talking about once you go, you're going south, right? So you're on 31 or Michigan, you're going south and you pass the Chick-fil-A, you pass the Lowe's and all that. When you go south of there and then you go south of the bypass, you end up hitting Kern Road and then south of Kern. That area is said to be in bad shape as well. We've gotten initial calls that we didn't even make. We couldn't make them because we were at other slide-offs about multiple accidents in those areas. So I could definitely see what you're talking about, Pat. It says US 31 south of the bypass is in bad shape. My husband was traveling south and there were numerous slide offs. He decided to exit off US 4 and then take old US 31 south, which is another detour that you could take, obviously, to go south. Dion says, my husband is currently stuck on 80 East. So that's the toll road, 80 East. So that would be the eastbound lane. So that's coming here. Trying to get off at the Notre Dame exit, probably impossible right now. Hopefully we get those pictures soon. I don't think we got the pictures from the toll road just yet. I think we're still waiting on them from Sergeant Ted Bonner, and I'm going to text him as well to see if he has those pictures. But it looks like he's obviously extremely busy, as is any first responder right now. Some of the pictures that we're getting, I'm going to try and bring up one of the cameras here off to the side. So forgive me, I'm trying to direct, produce, and talk at the same time. But there are some pictures that I can try to bring up here from NDOT. NDOT, Indiana Department of Transportation, sometimes has pictures. Let me see. It looks like, and I just heard over my shoulder, it looks like we just got some pictures from Ted Bonner. Let's see. Thank you. And I'm still reading your comments. It says he was traveling back from Plymouth. Stacy, hello to you. Does anyone know how Red Arrow Highway is in Stevensville? Stevensville, that area when it snows, right? That's one of the problem areas that we talk about. Specifically Red Arrow Highway. I don't know. Like I don't see in front of me right now if that's an issue, so forgive me. I can look at a traffic map and try to get you some answers as well. But I'm going to bring up another map here momentarily and try to get you at least some of the information, some of the NDOT cameras. In fact, I think I have it, and I'm going to try my best to bring it up. Looks like we may have an issue with that. Let me try to refresh. Let me see if I can try to. Okay. So you said Red Arrow Highway. I'm just looking up there to see if there's, obviously that's Michigan, so NDOT wouldn't have that, but I'm just looking to see if there's any more alerts here. Welcome in. It looks like a lot of folks joined us. 215 people are watching me right now. That is not scary at all. Okay, so I want to get back to some of the images. And as I show you these images, this is from a couple hours ago. Still an ongoing situation. Multiple crashes happening on the bypass, which is why you see there, stay off the bypass. That is literally the quote from police in the last few minutes that we've gotten. And I am looking, as you guys are seeing those images there, to see some of the latest critical information that's put up by NDOT. Let me see if I can find that for you guys, so you guys can get a sense of what's happening and where it's happening right now. That's I-90. Oof. Yeah, I-94 isn't good in certain spots right now either. Near Michigan City, it looks better, but not where it should be. My goodness. All right. Let's go to South Bend here. I'm going to look up what they call a traffic pattern. So when I'm looking up here on the side, and I'm going to, as you guys are looking at some of those images, I am looking at another screen off to my side that I can try to bring up here, but it's going to be very difficult to do that. Let me see if I can find. Okay. It looks like, so I'm looking at regular roads in South Bend are just slushy, slick still, but the main road we're talking about is the bypass. So I'm looking here, and I am that is downtown, that is near 30. So it looks like things are still at a crawl on the bypass. And I am looking for the area of concern where you saw some of those images from earlier. And I want to bring this up too, now that I have it here. The toll road, so I can tell you this based on what I'm seeing. The toll road, it looks like, is at a standstill right now. And I'm talking eastbound lanes. And this would be all the way to the Notre Dame exit, all the way back to close to, and I'm trying to make sure I can see this from where I am. Yeah, all the way to St. Joe Valley Parkway. So it's thank you. Perfect, thank you. So I just got some pictures in, so I want to bring those up. This is of the toll road situation. And this is what I'm talking about here. So it looks like eastbound lanes are crippled right now, at least for more than a mile eastbound, stretching as far from the exit right near us, exit 77, all the way back to, and it looks like you guys know where the Career Academy area is, that part of the toll road. We're talking over the city there. It'll be on your left. This is right to that portion, and that is a considerable distance. So I can definitely attest to what you guys are saying in the comments. Forecast is possibly another week of craziness, question mark. I can't confirm craziness, but what I can confirm is those first alert weather days. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. It is. We've got 2 first alert weather days next Monday, Tuesday for temperatures colder than this. And you can see on the screen 17 degrees. It's going to be colder than that. We're talking highs in single digits, not even talking wind chills. You may remember last year, MLK Day, it was frigid. It was 7 degrees out there. We're talking similar for MLK Day this year as well, Monday, Tuesday. And we're going to do some reporting today on how to prepare your home, because we know a lot of people are going out of town for the Notre Dame game, how to make sure you don't come back to thousands of dollars worth of damage, right? So we're going to talk about that later on. I want to get this picture up, though, and I'm working to upload that here. Of this toll road exit, of this accident involving 2 semis, and it may be an accident depending on what we see. You'll see it momentarily of what's happening there. So I'm going to do that here in just a second and bring that up for you guys to see. And these are pictures here, and I am going to show you that now. So this is the situation that is on the toll road. So here we go. This is the picture here that we're just getting. That is, and this is, forgive the lower third. I'm actually going to get rid of it because this is another accident. This is not even the one in LaPorte County. This is right down the road from us. So you can see that semi there. You can see it obviously in the area of the median. So you're going to see a slowdown in the obvious portion, this portion, and we're seeing it already based on the map that I am looking at. It is right in that area where you're seeing those deep reds on the map that you hate to see when you're talking about traffic. And so these are the pictures we're just getting from Sergeant Ted Bonner and ISP. It's just a mess out there, obviously. I don't have to tell you. You can see it in the images here. And you can see there's no traffic going by, and if it is, it's in one lane. That's not going to be helpful for anybody right now whatsoever. And so that is again, what you're seeing is a result of what we've been hearing about and seeing all throughout the day. I want to go back to this video because I know a lot of people are asking some questions about this crash on the bypass. Let me tell you guys what you're seeing here in just a second. I'm going to tell you guys what you're seeing because I know a lot of folks are like, what is that, a police car? Is that a school bus? Yes and yes. So based on what we got earlier, this right here, that is a St. Joe County vehicle. That is a county police vehicle that actually went off the road intentionally as the crashes were happening when the visibility was at its worst just before noon today. And that officer did that because he saw a semi was out of control, was avoiding to get hit. He did that as a last effort, and is okay, we're hearing. But that is what you're looking at here. So that is the bypass situation. And what you're seeing is a quote. We're not saying it, even though we're saying it, but they're also saying it. Stay off the bypass. We're not sure what school bus that is right there. You're seeing it here. That school bus on the left, I'm going to remove the banner so that you can get a good look at it. That school bus, it is hard to almost see what school district that is, but I'm curious to know if any kids were on that bus. And obviously when I'm done here, we'll check on that momentarily to see how they're doing that. County officials are responsible for the bypass, obviously. And so we do know they've been out there, but obviously when that snow began to fall, you can't be everywhere at once, right? And so not to defend, or I'm not defending, I can tell you that's just the facts. You can't be everywhere at once with the number of salt trucks out there. They can only do certain things at certain times, but as drivers, they may be behind us, they may be in front of us, but once that snow starts to fall and the visibility worsens, you can cancel Christmas, it doesn't matter. And Let's not talk about the fact that sometimes salt isn't activated when it gets to a certain level of temperature out there. And depending on how many cars are out there helping to activate it with the friction and things like that, I don't know when you talk about science, the science behind it, but I can only tell you based on what we've reported before. Nonetheless, that is one of the many incidents that we've been covering on the bypass. And obviously, we've just showed you some of the visuals from near exit 77 on the toll road, which I'm looking over here, which you cannot see, which I apologize for because I have to bring that up and that takes another few minutes to do so. But I can tell you that there is the toll road is at a standstill right now for a decent stretch, going as far west to near 31 and all the way here to the exit is red, deep red. It looks like, and I'm going to stretch out here and show you guys. It looks like that part is eastbound, but then the westbound lanes are impacted as well due to another accident near mile marker, and we had that earlier, and I'll bring that up so you guys can see that. But that was near mile marker 61 in LaPorte County. And I was looking for a picture to see if I can find one, and there are no pictures available. Sometimes they make them available to us, sometimes they don't. I'm going to try and look at plow cameras right now. Plow cameras show everything is pretty decent in terms of some other spots on the toll road, but the ones that I named are points to be aware of. Why was a school bus out today? South Bend School, shame on you. I hope those parents sue. I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't know if that was a South Bend school bus, one, so I can't confirm that. Two, I can't tell you what the individual district's rules are for school busing and busing in general. I can tell you that a lot of districts have a plan in place for days when there's snow days, right? The 2-hour delays are implemented. The no school virtual learning is implemented. I don't know what went into today's situation. Those are the questions that we're asking today because this progressed quickly. I can tell you, I got in and things were okay on the road at 9:30. This is post 9:30. This is like 10 o'clock, 10:30, 10:45 when we started to hear all of these accidents happening. Early today in Elkhart County, things were a little bit worse there on the bypass. I can tell you that because for a time, the bypass was shut off in Elkhart County. In fact, between 33 and 13, it was closed, and that has since reopened in Elkhart County. So we did get that confirmed from officials. I'm looking here, and if I miss it, you guys would tell me. Is anyone from Stevensville up to Hartford bad, says John. Thank you for that. That helps us with our reporting. Josh says Plymouth roads aren't the best either. A lot of slide offs he's hearing on the scanner. In fact, someone else, Pat, who we heard from earlier, says her husband was having some issues coming up from Plymouth. It sounds like it would coincide with that. Any road info from Marshall County? Forgive me. I know you guys can't see it. What I'm looking at here, but I can try and get that based on what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the TrafficWise cameras, NDOT cameras. They usually have cameras in certain spots. They also have plow cameras. So they literally have cameras attached to certain plows as well. So I can look up in Marshall County right now, and I can try to look up on Facebook as well any updates on Marshall County road conditions. And I'm going to do that right now as I'm talking to you guys. And it looks like things are, again, I'm not saying anything is good right now because it's just not true. Things are okay depending on where you are, but things aren't necessarily ideal for travel. I'm looking at the county map right now. So there's this advisory map that goes out. You've heard us talk about it, right? It talks about the county travel status. As of 1:58, and I'm saying this loud so my team can hear me behind me, they're on a St. Joseph County, Indiana, is on a travel watch right now. So that was just elevated because that was not the case before I started this Facebook Live. So I can tell you that for St. Joe County, if you're traveling, county officials are saying that in terms of advisory, conditions are threatening to the safety of the public. During a watch, local travel advisory, only essential travel, and we're talking from work, emergency situations, is recommended. Basically, it's in the yellow saying, be prepared that only emergency vehicles should be out there if things worsen, right? So if you're getting kids, or if you gotta go to work, or if you're coming from work, that's okay. But if you gotta go to the store, they're saying, wait a minute, you may wanna think about delaying that an hour and a half, 2 hours, until things improve out there. That is what St. Joseph County, Indiana is on right now. That is the county travel status as of 1:59 p.m. I'm looking up in the rest of our area is in the green in Indiana in terms of the travel map. That is through the Indiana Department of Homeland Security that puts that out, along with county officials. They put that status out, if you will, to let you guys know what to expect if you have to go out there or not to go outside whatsoever. How much more snow we're expecting. I have listened to our forecasters here during the noon show. There is more snow that is coming down, obviously, and I'm looking over my shoulder. I don't know in terms of inches what we're expecting, but right now I can tell you just prepare for visibility issues through the rush hour, right? Through 5:30, 6 o'clock. Just prepare for that. That is something I can tell you definitively, because coming in this morning, we were told light snow will be falling throughout the day. Well, this is what you get when you see light snow falling throughout the day and the concrete is frozen. You get that, right? You get this. And so I don't want to say, well, we're expecting a trace. That doesn't mean anything depending on how hard that snow falls during a burst, right? It doesn't matter. So you got to be prepared regardless on how much we're getting. But I don't have that answer right now because my meteorologists are pretty busy. So they're not next to me. They're in the weather office working on tonight's forecast. That is something I can't answer. Forgive me for not being able to answer that question directly, Jesse. Or I believe it was someone else. I think that was Connie. Forgive me, Connie. Heard there are accidents on 30 in Marshall County. That's what I was looking at. I was trying to look up a visual of 30. Let me see if I can get that up really quickly while I'm talking to you guys. Marshall County, let's go to, all right, so US 6, there's that, traffic, weather stations, weather alerts. I'm going to do traffic here. I'm going to enable that so I can see it. All right. So I'm looking at Marshall County right now, and nothing major there but snow is still falling out there. In fact, I turned on the radar to show you guys that, and it's still falling out there. Toll road is still a mess, like I said, in those two spots near mile marker 61 in LaPorte, and then right here, right by us at the station at mile marker 77. But in terms of, and I'm searching Marshall County as well. I just want to make sure you guys are good there. Things are okay there. I'm looking at the traffic cameras. I'm looking at Indiana 10 in Marshall County. I'm looking at Jefferson Street over there. Roads look actually decent there. And I say that because I'm actually shocked based on what we've been hearing all day in other places. Roads are not bad at all. 30, you mentioned 30. I'm looking there near King Road. Not too bad. Greens are showing up based on what I'm seeing right now. So that's good. Not too bad, but that is a totally different story when you're talking about South Bend, Elkhart, Southwest Michigan as well, which we only get somewhat of Michigan because I'm looking at an NDOT traffic camera, so we don't see too much. I want to look up 94 really quickly, so forgive me, guys. I'm taking a second to go to 94 to see some of the areas that could potentially be impacted right now. Yeah, things are better. Bridgman, Stevensville. Let's look up Stevensville really quickly. Stevensville, better. Still yellow up there. So yeah, obviously a mess everywhere, wherever you go in our area in St. Joe County, parts of Elkhart County as well. 200 people still watching out there. Forgive me if I do not see the comment. I asked a question. If anyone watching was on the bypass experiencing those gapers, those delays during the time of the pileup that we told you about, the 15-car accident. There were several accidents on the bypass in St. Joe County. There was a big accident in Elkhart County and slide-offs there earlier today. But there were 3 separate crashes in the southbound lanes of the bypass. And I say southbound lanes because it goes southbound at one point and then it turns right. Southbound lanes of the bypass between State Road 2 and Mayflower Road were some of the things we were hearing about. Obviously, we're having some issues on the toll road as well right now, and that's the toll road, right? That's the toll road, which is usually seeing a lot of traffic, and so sometimes the SALT is activated much quicker and things are somewhat smooth. Not the case today. both in LaPorte County and in St. Joe County, obviously. So we're watching that. We're keeping tabs on that as well. Sun is out in Hamlet, Indiana. Boy, I wish we were near you. It is not the case where we are outside of the station. I'm still looking to see some of the comments here. A lot of folks watching. We do appreciate that. I am looking and making sure there's nothing. I'm going to hop out of the comments for a second and make sure there's no other alerts that we're getting. Sorry, I'm getting messages from some of you guys on Facebook. You guys are hilarious. Okay, sorry. Let me look up St. Joseph County, make sure there's no new updates. And I'm looking right now at St. Joseph County. There's no new updates that we're getting in the emails other than the stay off the bypass warning, right? I want to look up Elkhart because Elkhart was a big issue that we were talking about earlier. So let me look up after the, I'm just looking up. I want to mention something really quickly while I'm on here because this is an issue that Elkhart Police had to draw attention to today, and I'm going to mention it. So in the last few days, Elkhart Police put this out just a moment ago. They have responded to several warm-up, this is what they're calling it, warm-up vehicle thefts. We've told you about this before, warming up your vehicle and not being in your vehicle and then going outside and there is no vehicle. They've responded to so many of those in the last several days. And they said they've located some of them. They've located some of those vehicles. But keep in mind, a lot of victims aren't lucky. It's going to get worse out there in terms of temperature over the next 10 days. Again, 16 degrees right now. That is going to worsen next week, especially Monday, Tuesday, the lowest temperatures we've felt and experienced in our area the entire year, according to our meteorologists who've been keeping an eye on this for over a week, which is why we've already issued a first alert weather day for Monday, Tuesday. So I say that just to remind you, whether you're in Elkhart, whether you're in South Bend, wherever you're watching, just be careful doing that. I'm not going to tell you not to do it because you do what you want. You're an adult. You're watching, more than likely you're an adult. You do what you want. But we urge you not to because we don't want you to run into those situations where you have those issues of not having a car outside because you're warming it up, right? So just keep that in mind. Be careful. Be advised of that and be aware. So there's that. I am just looking to make sure there's no other update from Elkhart. No, there isn't there. Let me look up Elkhart County. Elkhart County has not had any big updates. No big traffic updates in that regard. And I'm just looking at some of the comments. I'm back here on the Facebook live looking at some of your comments that you guys are. I'm seeing this. I'm going to go back to the video that we were showing a second ago. This is from the. Thank you for putting that in, Johnny. I see that. St. Joe County is in a travel advisory right now. That is happening as we speak. This is an example of that. That is. And actually, I'll show you that so you can see it. That is on the toll road right down the street from where we are. That is on the toll road right now. So just keep that in mind. The bypass is still, and I'm going to make sure of that, closed. I doubt they cleaned all that up that quickly, but I'm pretty sure they're still closed, and it looks like they are. At least in that direction that we told you earlier. Things have not changed. So yeah, things have not changed on the bypass. Just yet. Sorry, I'm laughing at people say things in the newsroom, and I'm not going to say anything more than that. But anyways, I am looking here to make sure of that. Yeah, looks like things are still at a crawl on 20. Things are slowing down, it looks like, in the area that, it's still done. Mayflower to Fillmore, really. To that area, right? If you're on the Bible, you know where I'm talking about, near that Cloverleaf on Western, which would be State Road 2. Just be careful. Just keep that in mind. Just be careful if you have to go on the bypass or anything like that. All right, so I'm going to end this in a second. I just want to make sure we didn't have anyone who was on the bypass. Ron Davis, bypass, yes, parts of the bypass. Just don't avoid it altogether. Doesn't matter if it's still closed. Just avoid it, right? That's what police want you to know. St. Joe County is under that travel advisory. We're going to update that in the shows as well because that is something that just came down. St. Joe County is under travel advisory right now. a travel watch technically is what they call it. And so you have the advisory, and then you have the watch, and then you have the warning. So it goes green, yellow, red. And so they are under a what they are calling an advisory right now. It was at a watch, it looks like, briefly. That's not the case. It's under an advisory. So it's the lowest level of local travel advisory, meaning that routine travel or activities may be restricted. But just to give you context, no other area in our viewing area, no other county, in Indiana at least, I have to check Southwest Michigan's numbers, there's no other location that shows that just yet. But I want you guys to be aware of that. Really quickly, I just got handed a note. I want you guys to be aware. We have a list of closings, cancellations. There's some after-school activities that may be canceled as a result. I can tell you that a lot of after-school activities, a lot of people are second-guessing those. I can tell you that for a fact, so just keep that in the back of your mind. We have a full list right there at WNDU.com. We have a list. You just go to WNDU.com. You'll see a banner, closings and delays. You click that, you'll see what's closed. You'll see things that are closing a day before. If they decide to do so earlier, it'll be in real time. It'll be updated there. Again, WNDU.com. There are some that's coming in as we speak, delays and or cancellations. We know that there are a lot of after school activities that can be canceled. That will be updated there in real time. WNDU.com is where to go. A lot of people talking about the cars. Where are all the plows at? Carl, tell me about it. I'm telling you, and I'm not saying they're not out there, but when we're talking about what you're seeing here in these pictures is a result of more than likely bad visibility as it happened, right? This is the bypass pileup, one of 3 accidents that happened on the bypass earlier today. One of 3 big ones we're talking about, right? We know there are several slide-offs. We can't keep up with all of them, but we can tell you that this happened as snow was coming down. So I don't think it mattered at that point about, yes, slick roads, obviously. Anything that hit the ground, the pavement is going to freeze on contact. That's how cold it is out there, 16 degrees. But I think the visibility and the lack of sight, you could not see. Low lane visibility, right? Recognition, you couldn't see it. That caused some issues. And then I think what appears to be a chain reaction. Look at this. I mean, you can see it for yourself. It's pretty remarkable, the pictures that we're getting from that accident. So I just want to keep that in the back of your mind if you're watching this right there. Carl said, I spent an hour on bypass and not one plow. Now, let me ask you, and this is not me, I don't need to defend. They don't pay me, trust me. So I'm not defending anyone. I don't care less. But I think that I say this because I'm just trying to think sensibly here. You tell me if I'm wrong. Carl, were you driving the entire time on the bypass, or were you stuck in one place? Were you going slow on the bypass? Because I don't know if there were 2 plows, one behind, one in front, and you just didn't see them, or I just don't know the situation. But whatever it is, that's obviously a big issue and part of the complexities of the ongoing investigation and the pictures that you're seeing because of this pileup that took place today. I've seen 2 on my way home from Goshen, says Star. Was there kids on the bus? That is something we're trying to find out. That is something I am going to dig into personally once I get off of this, which I'm about to do momentarily, because I'm not sure what district that was. One can assume it was South Bend schools, but you don't know. This was in St. Joe County, right? This was on the bypass. It could have been anything. It could have been any district. We don't know. So that's what we're going to call and fact check on, because in that you saw a bus, you saw a St. Joe County cop car, right? You saw that vehicle in there as well, which we got some specific information about that. A lot happening, a lot going on out there on the roads. So Maureen says there have been several plows out there doing a great job. There's that. I just want to make sure I don't have any other updates before we say goodbye. I am going to try and talk to the sheriff really quickly. He says to call him, and I'm going to see if I can talk to him on speaker and have you guys hear any updates. So give me a second in that regard and see if he can share his time with us, which we're grateful for if we're able to do that. So give me 1 second. Let me see if I don't know if he'll be available right now. He just told me to call him, and we'll see what happens. So give me a second. Put you on speaker. I'm on. All right, everyone. So we've got the sheriff on the phone. So Sheriff Redmond just joined me on the phone. I'm literally on speaker right now with the microphone in my hand. Sheriff, thank you for doing this. And I can only imagine what you're seeing out there. Can you give us any updates you can, first off, about obviously that 15-car accident crash pileup that happened on the bypass earlier?
Yeah, so one of our patrol officers was responding to a crash report already up on the bypass, and once he arrived up there, other multiple vehicles started colliding with each other. And so at this time, we believe 15 vehicles all total were involved, including 2 semis. We're in the process of getting the semis removed from the bypass, and then we can get smaller tow trucks in there to take care of the vehicles that were damaged. Thankfully, nobody was seriously injured, including our officers, so we're very grateful for that. The original officer also, while he was up there, noticed that one of the semis was coming towards his vehicle, so he was able to drive off the road to avoid that collision, thankfully.
We're looking at that picture right now, which is harrowing to see.
Yeah, so we're just thankful that nobody was seriously injured. Complete whiteout out there for a period of time. It's cleared up finally out here as far as the snow goes. So the snow band has slowed up, and visibility's back to normal, but it's still, that section of the bypass between State Road 2 and Mayflower is currently closed. We're hoping to have it cleaned up here within the next hour and a half.
And is that still the southbound lanes, or is that every lane, every direction right now? I don't know if you know that information.
Yeah, that's the south or east direction of
Correct.
The bypass.
Got it.
That is correct.
Okay. And then really quickly, these are questions I know you may not have the answer to. I know you're just getting to your phone. Some people had questions about, was there a school bus involved in this as well? It looks like there was, but I don't know if you have any information on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it was a school bus out of Niles, Michigan. I don't remember the name of the organization, but there was no passengers except for the driver of the bus involved.
Okay. And then is there anything, I mean, I know you said stay off the bypass. How the rest of the roads looking? I know we've got some issues on the toll road earlier today, and I think we still do. Is there any other, I mean, assault trucks, plow trucks, we see them out there, but I think the visibility and everything happened all at once, and it just kind of a chain reaction. Am I right about that?
Yeah, you are. Anybody that's lived here for a period of time or is familiar with this area, we get those random snow bands that can just make it treacherous in a matter of seconds. So that's what we were dealing with out here in the western part of St. Joe County. There were multiple crashes throughout the county and throughout the city of South Bend, Mishawaka, but that west area and that band that was set up there, that's where we saw the most crashes occurring.
Got it. And then I want to ask you, I just got asked by my producer just to fact check one thing. So that accident that we're talking about right now, that we're looking at visuals of a second ago, that was involving 15 cars, 2 semis, as well as those 15 cars, correct?
All total. So 15 vehicles, including those 2 semis.
Got it.
And then the school bus.
Got it. And then the school bus. Got it. Okay. We appreciate the updates. Sheriff, I'll let you get going. I know you got a lot you're dealing with. I appreciate you, and I know a lot of our viewers do. I can tell you they are appreciative of you making yourself available right now. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Josh.
Okay,
Thanks.
talk soon. Sheriff Bill Redmond, St. Joe County Police, giving us a few updates there. And I think we got another update that's just in that I want to bring you guys that I just got from my producer. So 2 things. It looks like Elkhart County just went up to advisory level. When they're talking about travel advisory map, we talked about that, the county travel status. So you've got these levels that they go at. You've got the not normal status, right? That's the green level. And then you get into the advisory, the watch, the warning. Right now, they're at the advisory. So I'm just making up the number right now, but I'm saying a level 1 right now for St. Joe and Elkhart counties. And that's considerable because that was just for a while. It was just, and it looks like Stark County just added, it looks like when I refreshed it, Stark County is now under advisory level. So it was just St. Joe County 5 minutes ago. We just talked about that, right? But now it looks like Stark, Elkhart, and St. Joe have now moved up to that advisory level. Which means it's the lowest level of the travel advisory. Routine travel or activities may be restricted in some areas because of a hazardous situation or potential crashes or closures. So that's what that means. But it could increase, or it could get to a worse level depending on how things improve or get worse, right? So that's one thing. One other thing I want to mention that a lot of people had questions about on the Facebook Live that I want to confirm before I say goodbye is that school bus. We now know Niles. It was from Niles. That school bus was from Niles. And that's why I say you got to fact check and verify information before you go to assume in the comments, because everybody thought it was South Bend schools, which is why I did not say that, because that is not the case. And it is confirmed not to be the case. It is a Niles school bus or a school bus from Niles, but the specific corporation, you heard the sheriff there, he was not aware, but we can confirm nobody but the driver was on that bus. That is why we wait to confirm information, and we're not always putting things out there right away, even though I know people want to know right away, and that is just human nature. But we have a job to have to actually confirm things and verify them before we speak them out there, because we could end up putting the wrong information out there, which could be damaging in many ways, more than one. I'm looking at some comments still because I see a lot of people still commenting. Sheriff Redmond there making his availability there. After school, our after school activities canceled. There's a way you can look, WNDU.com. We have all of those updates. You can go to WNDU.com/closings, and that's what I'm about to do right now as I'm here with you guys, and then I gotta go. I'm just looking here. Was driving to and from South End both ways to Elkhart and seen 0 plows and plenty of slide offs on bypass, says Carl. A lot of people said they've seen plenty of plows, and a lot of people say not so much. No problem, Carl. Let's see here. We've got, let's see. Closing early is a Van Buren District Library. That's what I got for you folks. In terms of anything else, everything else has already been closed today. You can go to WNDU.com/closings and see an update there of the list, and also tomorrow as well, because this cold weather isn't going anywhere anytime soon. So that is something to be aware of and be prepared for, okay? We're going to have all the latest information at 4 o'clock. Lauren Moss will be joining me at the desk with all the very latest. George Mallet and Caroline Clapp will have new information as well. All of that will be at WNDU.com as well. If you don't watch the news, I get it. You can download the app and put on the alerts or turn off the alerts. But we have information that we're updating literally by the moment. Extemporaneously updating. I can add that. I think it's important because I think you guys need as much information, and that phone conversation happened live, and so I think it's important. I want to make sure I got everything in. Let me make sure the St. Joe County, Elkhart County is in a travel advisory. I think I just told you Stark has been added to that, and I think that's the very latest. That I'm just looking at the travel map one more time on the toll road and make sure we're good there. It looks like just those two spots still on the toll road. Nothing beyond that. That is it. That is all. The bypass still closed off in that area. You heard the sheriff talk about that a second ago, and that is where we had several accidents this morning in Elkhart County as well. That has since reopened. That is some good news. But 3 separate crashes have closed off lanes south or eastbound. State Road 2 and Mayflower. That area has been cordoned off. Be safe. I appreciate you guys. Don't be scared. That's why we're here. We're going to walk you through this. It's all good. Winter is almost over. Let's just keep that in the back of our minds too. Winter is almost over. But I wanted to bring you guys this new information that we're getting, of course. And any new information or newer info, we will bring them to you on air and at WNDU.com. That does it for this Newsbreak Online, wherever you're watching us, or wherever you watch us on our WNDU Digital Plus platforms as well, whether it's on your TV or your smartphone or your laptop. We appreciate you guys watching, and please be safe. If you guys got to make any moves today or anything like that, just please keep in mind, you don't want to be in anything like this. This is from earlier today involving our first responders and school buses and normal people just trapped on the bypass, and you don't want that to happen to you. So stay off the bypass for the rest of the day if you can, if you're able, and just be safe and take it slow out there for the rest of the day and as this cold weather continues, because any snow we get, it will stick and things will get slick, and you just don't want to be in any precarious situation like you're seeing on your screen there. We'll see you soon at 4 o'clock on WNDU Channel 16.